The US house price boom. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of Heise Says US. Let's have a look at this Bloomberg article which is discussing the housing prices boom in the US. And not just San Francisco or New York, so low rates and vacancies fuel a real estate rebound for urban areas. Remote work heightens demand in more affordable regions. Maybe you've heard, the pandemic is killing cities, fueling a rush to spacious houses in the suburbs. But beyond pricey New York and San Francisco, real estate demand is booming in downtowns across America. From Pittsburgh to Detroit and Phoenix, condos and townhouses within stumbling distance of bars and restaurants are hot. Like the families now upgrading to bigger suburban houses, young white-collar workers are taking advantage of record low mortgage rates and flexible remote working policies to move to desirable cities with relative affordability. Home prices in urban US markets rose 15% in the 3 months through late January, slightly ahead of the annual pace in suburbia according to data from broker Redfin, based on geographic designations developed by the Census Bureau. It's a shift from earlier in the pandemic when prices were lagging behind outer areas or even falling, a sign that COVID-19 vaccines are helping to fuel demand as nightlife makes its return. People are anticipating that now is a great time to buy, says Daryl Fairweather, chief economist at Redfin. This sounds very familiar with what's happening here in Australia. We're seeing prices in, some of the less, we've got two major real estate cities here in Australia. We've got Melbourne and Sydney. And prices in the other cities and the regions, like where I live in Brisbane, they're starting to get a bit of a kick, catching up, unfortunately, for those that are trying to get in. So, they're not thinking about the short term, they're looking forward to eating inside restaurants and going to concerts. Perhaps no part of the US economy has been buoyed by the Federal Reserve's easy money policies more than housing. And with cities now joining the suburbs and exurbs in the boom, the impact on growth appears to be broadening. In some regions, urban areas are now substantially outperforming. This sounds exactly like what's happening here, guys. In Louisville, Kentucky, values for properties in the more densely populated neighborhoods surged at more than twice the rate that they did in suburbs over the past 3 months. Here we still have the regions. We've got the regions surrounding the less popular cities. The suburbs there, even a bit further out. So people buying in a city there. Detroit, plagued by poverty, but home to a downtown packed with gleaming new condo towers, so urban prices soar 43%, almost quadruple the rate of less dense parts. In urban Baltimore, prices jumped 34%, while they rose 10% in outer areas. Newly divorced Alex Studstill, 36, relocated to Baltimore from Washington, D.C. suburbs during the pandemic. After losing out on a few places because his offers weren't competitive enough, he paid around $500,000 for a row house near the Canton waterfront. That was right around the asking price. My lifestyle's a little more active than it used to be, said Studstill, a management and program analyst with the Securities and Exchange Commission. I wanted the city and urban lifestyle, but real estate in D.C. was ridiculous. Baltimore was the next big thing. Cities such as New York, San Francisco, and Boston, major urban centers with expensive housing relative to the rest of the country, are among the outliers. Buyers no longer feel justified paying top dollar for a tiny space when theaters and bars are closed and denser cities depend on public transit that's unappealing during a pandemic. Long-term remote work policies also mean there's no need for some people to stay close to industry hubs, though they still may want the perks of urban living. Transplants from those places are instead going to areas such as Austin, Texas, Boise, Idaho, and Columbus, Ohio, where they can live comfortably for less. Take Nick Krause, a 25-year-old who moved out of the tiny apartment in Manhattan that he shared with 3 roommates. The management consulting firm that employs him now allows workers to live anywhere. He conducted a scenario analysis, concluding that New York was overpriced and condo fees in Miami were too high, so he settled in Nashville, Tennessee, where he knows hardly anyone, and purchased his first home this month for $550,000. That bought him 2,000 square feet, including 3 bedrooms and a covered deck with wet bar. The pool and foosball table are on order. There's plenty to do nearby in the meantime. He says there are 10 bars and restaurants in walking distance. One of the things I didn't want to give up when I was leaving New York was the urban walkability, he said. I don't own a car and I don't plan to. How can you not own a car? I guess. So, downtown Louisville, with its high-rise condo towers, has something in common with Midtown Manhattan. The office workers are gone, the streets seem empty, and the high-end units aren't selling quickly. But buyers, including many from around the country, are snatching up townhomes and single-family homes in the vibrant urban neighborhoods that surround it. Prices have long been strong in the artsy Highlands, Butchertown, Crest Hill, and St. Matthews neighborhoods, and that are dotted with murals, ethnic restaurants, and independent coffee shops. But now they're soaring, says Libby Lewisser, an agent for Kelly Williams, Louisville East. For her, who does most of her business in these urban areas, 2020 was her best year since becoming an agent. A dozen years ago, her team sold $15 million of real estate, up 25% since 2019, she said. You can list a home 2 minutes from downtown and will probably have 5 offers in the first 24 hours, she said. There is a younger contingent that is happy to be in those urban areas and will buy that house from the person who wants to vacate. Buyers looking in Pittsburgh have changed their preference during the pandemic, paying a premium for yards and larger houses, said Kelly Han Riley, Vice President of Real Estate Sales at Howard Han Real Estate Services. Buyers in the city have to be ready to go. They can't pause, she said. They have to know they might go over asking price. So there we have it, everyone. A housing boom in the States. What do you think? We'll have to see. Will this be a permanent trend with people moving, well, to more affordable areas? As always, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Aussie Broadband. You can buy merch from Heise Says, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. You can also join Self Wealth for share trading or MeetRx and help us that way. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.